I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Corporate America has unmasked itself, and those jobs are never coming back. Microsoft just laid off 9,000 people last week. Some of those people were their top performers. No severance, no benefits, boom, just cut off and thrown out into the street. So ask yourself, if this is how they treat their best people, what do you think they can do to you? So stick around. In this video, I'm going to show you how to see the signs and then build a plan. It's time to get tactical. So let's get started. All right, so here's the story. Microsoft laid off 9,000 people just last week. It was in the Xbox division. Now, what's really alarming here is not that they laid off 9,000 people, it's how they did it. Again, they labeled some of these people as poor performers and then threw them out on the street. Some people did get severances and exit packages and things like that, but there's a bigger signal here. This isn't about downsizing. This isn't about hard times. Microsoft has more than $107 billion sitting in cash in the bank right now. What they did was they actually, in the email, this guy Phil, who is the head of the Xbox division, sent out an email, talked about how they're going to have to make some changes that's going to impact the business and impact some of your, co-workers and blah, 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 blah. But really what's key in this is if you read between the lines, he talked about how Xbox had record-breaking performance and thanked everybody on the team to get them, who got them to this achievement in the history of Xbox and the history of Microsoft. So, I mean, it's very, very clear there is no more loyalty. They have plenty of money. And to throw a segment of these people out based on performance, I have two questions on that. First, what performance? Let's talk a little bit more about performance. What does that mean? Did you work with these people? Were they truly bad performers? And even in the case of them being truly bad performers, you at least give the person a check, something to fall back on when you rip, the rug out from under them. There's been a really serious change in corporate America. Now, Gen Xers, we're in the fourth quarters of our careers. Let me ask you something. Wasn't there a time where I feel like companies would really do everything that they could not to lay people off? They took it much more seriously. I feel like something has shifted, and I don't know if you feel this way either, but the fact of the matter is we need to look at this and see the immorality that Microsoft has just really kind of unmasked themselves to the whole world. They don't care about you, and as I've been saying in a lot of my videos, in our day, you would get a job and basically think that you're employed for the foreseeable future. Well, I really just don't think that's reality anymore. So there is no more loyalty. And I want people to understand. And if you haven't already seen it, what I really would like you to do is consider this a public service announcement. Start getting ready because, especially if you're in tech, it might not be you right now, but it can happen at any time. So to me, this is very alarming. I do believe that there's been a shift in corporate America really since COVID. And Microsoft, this example of Microsoft is really just kind of the manifestation of that. It's just the culmination of maybe what's been going on with corporate America for a long, long time. So you might say, yeah, Monica, we know there's been a ton of layoffs. Everybody's ready for this. But to me, what's alarming, and this is why I'm calling it a public services announcement, is I see so many people, and I'm going to give you two examples of this, who just don't seem to kind of, see what's coming and connect the dots. And that's what's alarming to me. So here's one example. Today, this happened. I was getting my nails done, and this lady came and she was sitting next to me, and we just started talking. And, come to find out that she works in the warehouse division of Best Buy. Now, I happen to be in my field talking about agentic AI for supply chains. We've all heard about the big, big scary AI that's coming around the corner. So I asked her, and logistics and warehousing, is right in the line of fire for replacement with robots. And so I asked her about it, and she said, "Oh yeah, and really didn't seem to kind of get it." And I said, "Well, what do you think you're going to do?" I mean, she said, "Well, we have robots right now." And I said, "Okay, well, I mean, basically, maybe it doesn't happen today, but probably in 5 years, in 2 years, in 5 years. I mean, are you thinking about this? Like, hello, is anybody home? Are you even remotely clued in?" This girl made $25 an hour, but she said it was with benefits. She really is the majority of America. And I fear for people like that, because if you don't have a plan in place and you're not seeing what's ahead of the curve, you know, those people are going to get crushed. And so that's why I'm calling this a public service announcement. Another example that kind of alarms me and why I'm making this video today. And again, I work in tech. I talk about agentic AI. I am actively selling deals with AI being not necessarily a central part of it, but AI is a part of it. And more companies every day are coming to me, coming to our sales teams and saying, "Tell us about innovation around AI. Tell us about innovation around AI." This is happening. So here's one real life example for people that work in a tech company. We were in a sales meeting. We were talking about how to generate leads and business development and this and that and the other thing. And I happened to say to my team, a suggestion of how to use AI to find out what companies are currently doing for their digital transformation. Very, very simple tool. Copy and paste the job board. Put a prompt into AI, essentially saying, give me insights into this company based on who they're hiring, where are they in their digital transformation, are they in a digital transformation? Here's my role. I'm looking for an alignment. Does this company have a need for what my company does? And if they do, then help me, identify people at that company that I need to reach out to. And so what's the kicker here is that my manager said, "Oh, wow, that's a great idea." As I'm kind of giving everybody this tip about how to use AI to do your job more effectively. And even my team didn't know these things. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have a meeting down the line, and I'm going to teach my team and share some of the, pointers and tips and how they can accelerate prospecting essentially and identifying targets to go after. But again, it really makes me kind of nervous because people are either just not getting it or they're in denial about it. And so the public service announcement is, please use the Microsoft example. It's not a downturn, it's not hard times. They're getting rid of people, they want to hire less people. And then not only that, they're doing it in a cruel way, which to me has been a shift. There's a change in the attitudes and the unmasking of corporate America. Okay, so at the beginning of this video, I told you I was going to show you how to sort of see the signals, but then how to get tactical about it and how to be on the offense if you're 40 years old, Gen X, or you're worried about losing your job or what it may be. And so we're going to talk about that now. Okay, the signal is Microsoft is the signal. That is not noise there. That is the signal. That is the way corporate America is going to go. So, back when I started working, and a lot of us, even a few years ago, felt that we would get a job, we would be there for the foreseeable future, and life was grand. And unless there was some, depression or recession, maybe you would worry about layoffs. But that world is gone. And I'm trying to beat the drums and scream from the treetops about this to everybody. But again, I told you I was going to help you to be tactical. Part of me is very, very excited about this. And I'm excited for all of you if you will take advantage and sort of grab on and start to employ some offensive strategies. And one of those things is fractional work. Yes, it's a side hustle, but it's not a side hustle on Etsy. It's not a side hustle on DoorDash or anything like that. That is not what I'm talking about. The future of work is fractional. And what is fractional work? So, you're going to get paid on your knowledge. So, if anybody's out there listening to this video, maybe you are um, you're in sales operations, or you're in marketing, or you are a brand strategist, whatever it may be. For me, I'm a salesperson, I'm a consultant. You can start to build an income stream because there's companies looking for short engagements with people to, just share your knowledge. So I'm talking about small things to get started. Booking a call. I can book a call for $175 for 45 minutes, and we can talk through a few things that, what you are struggling with, and then I'll give you some deliverables. A couple of things is starting out in bits and pieces and starting out like that. Those engagements will then lead to bigger and longer engagements. And I think ideally we end up where it's all fractional work, using the power of AI to make our actual work times compressed. So you're working maybe 4 hours a day, but you're a fractional chief revenue officer for a mid-market company, and they're putting you on a retainer and paying you $20,000 or $50,000 a year, and you're delivering a number of hours a month to that company to build a sales team, hire a sales team, put together territories, stuff that you know how to do. That's where it's going. So this is the tactical part of it. I also think it's actually very, very exciting. So we'll get to the next part where you can actually go to identify real jobs. This is not fluff. These are things that you can start to employ today, cost you no money, and start to build a pipeline of actually, you know, billing and booking your first fractional gig for you. Okay, so here's some real resources where you can start reaching out and building this pipeline and getting leads and talking to people who can actually hire you and are looking for people like you. There's one that's called Angel List Talent. So Angel List Talent, startups and early stage companies are hiring part-time talent. That would be a good one to start with. Also, Contra.com, and I'll link all of this in the, my video and all that kind of stuff. But Contra.com, freelance work for marketers, operators, and creatives. That's a big area that's actually getting very affected right now. Everybody probably knows about Fiverr. That's another one where you can list freelance work, offer your services. As an example, if you're a YouTuber, you can go on Fiverr if you have any kind of video editing skills, creative graphic design, anything like that. And you can hire people to design a thumbnail for somebody like me who's a content creator on YouTube. Maybe it's 25 bucks. I'd pay somebody $25 to design a thumbnail for me. And you can get a couple of those going, maybe do 5 or 10 a month, and that's some, extra income. So Fiverr is a place to do it too. Y Combinator is another one. I believe these are early stage startups that have already been through a vetting process. Many startups are good targets because they don't have the funding to hire full time, and you probably wouldn't want to be a full timer for a startup anyway. I certainly wouldn't suggest leaving a corporate full time job to work for a startup, but if you can work for them fractionally, I think that's a great thing. Now, overall, I want to tell you what my strategy is. I want to keep my full-time job as long as my full-time job is going. So that's lane number one. But in the meantime, I'm building a YouTube channel and fractional work off of the YouTube channel using my knowledge and my expertise after 25 years of working. Gen X, we're in the fourth quarter, but we know a lot, and you can get monetize yourself. So that's how you're going to do it. Another one is Topto, higher end freelance work in tech and finance. So if you're an accountant, can you help somebody with their books? You could give your services potentially for a $250 flat fee, and maybe provide and analyze somebody's tech stack for whatever it might be, if it's a marketing tech stack or an AI tech stack or whatever it may be. And actually, my company, just so you know, There's large companies that are doing this kind of thing right now, but there's no reason why you can't do it for like 250 bucks. The point is just get started. I'll link these in the description. Please like and subscribe. I really, really want to hear from the community on this. I'm available, happy to help, answer any questions or what have you. But again, in closing, to wrap this up, corporate America lit the match. They've unmasked themselves, and I believe the gloves are off. So this is about getting yourself ready to be on the offense and ready for what's coming next. Anyway, hope this was helpful. See you in the next video. I'm going to link a video here if you want to know more about how I think AI, especially for Gen Xers, is the best opportunity we've ever seen in our lifetimes. And if you want to hear more, check out that video. Anyway, have a good one.